What was I doing?
You were gonna set up the video.
Hi.
Hello.
What was that? My voice just cracked like a weirdo. Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Actually, we are already going live. We didn't mean to, but you guys joined us. So, well, hey, you know what? Welcome, 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 everybody. You know what? Hey, I tell you what, I'm going to turn this right over right now over to our buddy Eddie here. My name is Eric. We've got Jake and Tori in the house, but go ahead, Eddie, lead us in here.
What's up? Welcome to After Dark, where we're gonna discuss all the things that you're going through right now, making it make sense.
Right on. All right, I'm going to put on a quick little video and then we'll get everybody in here because I got to set up their screening. So hold on just a second here.
Mm. Hey, it's a work in progress.
Moved all my pictures so that this doesn't work for us right now. I got to reset that up. All right, I have got to add you guys in here just a quick second here. Well, welcome to the show. Sorry about this. We were not planning on doing this quite the way we did it. We had some unexpected changes, which is always good. We like that. Let me grab their solo link here.
It's cold in here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool where I'm at too.
You don't get to talk about that. It's your fault.
Yes, yes, it is. It's happily cold in my room.
I hate
Give me just a quick second here. I got to find you. There you are. Hey, I found you.
Are we gonna get a surprise visit from Kermit the Frog again tonight?
I don't think we're going to do that. I don't even know what you're talking about.
You talking like Kermit?
I don't think so. All right, you guys. I've got everybody up. Okay. Well, hey, listen, welcome to the show. This is just after dark here with Who Are We? All we're going to do is just have a good time talking about like how we got here, who we are, and just invite other people to kind of come be a part of this community because we're just trying to, figure out how we fit, but more importantly, feel better in the process. So, hey, listen, I think the first thing I'm going to do is just turn it over to our new welcomers because I don't know how long they can stay, but I want to make sure to introduce you to Jake and Tori, who are some of the founders of this amazing Who Are We channel community. And definitely a part of putting together the Humana model, which we'll be introducing over some time here. But right now, just welcome to the show. So, Jake and Tori, listen, we're starting from scratch here. Yesterday, we were talking, Eddie and I were talking about kind of where we came from, how we figured out that there was weird stuff going on that wasn't just normal. And you guys both come from completely different backgrounds, and of course, different from the two of us too. So we'll add back in some other things to kind of, talk about it, but just basically, who the heck are you? What made you want to be a part of Who Are We and figure out your life? I guess I don't know. That's my question.
You want to go first?
Oh, you go.
Oh.
Ha!
Well, I grew up Mormon LDS for at least 18 years of my life. My family goes way back into the beginnings of the LDS church.
We do not have different backgrounds at all.
No, we really don't. We don't have different backgrounds. We're like the same person, just a different meat suit.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that jazz. I grew up with a lot of, strangely enough, religious persecution from my own church and from other churches simultaneously.
No church wanted
No
you.
church wanted me.
Yeah.
I was scolded by my bishop for believing the wrong things when I was a teenager, and I was told I was going to hell by my girlfriend who was evangelical Christian, and I had pretty much been, by the time I was 18 or 19, I decided I was done. I was done with God altogether.
Hey, can you just pause for a second? Look,
I was scolded by my bishop for believing the wrong things.
we're actually live for once, Jake. Jake, your voice is live. It's live.
Yay!
It's live.
We fixed it.
We're getting stuff to work.
Excellent. That's awesome. Shit, where was I? Yep.
I'm so sorry, but
You were told you were going to hell.
Oh, I was told I was
We've
going to
been
hell.
trying
We're
to
Yeah.
get
going
Jake to
over
I was
join
pretty
us
much-
for like a month and a half, and Jake's voice would not get on here.
Yeah, but yeah, I was pretty much done with God. I worked really hard in my 20s, got to about 2023, and everything or 2022, and everything started going to shit. Financially, lost my job. Things started really not going well. And yet, as things were like falling apart, I found myself to be in a much better mood. Generally.
I hear that.
I was like, oh shit, I've got all this time to just sit and think about stuff. How nice. And I think the first thing that woke me up was I picked up a book by Michio Kaku called The God Equation. And it's all about quantum physics and its application to scientific principles and kind of esoteric things as well. And if you've read any other Michio Kaku, he's not a big aliens guy. He kept his mouth shut about all that. But then it was Stephen Greer for a minute. That was my first introduction to the aliens and ETs. And as I started digging into his kind of more personal story, as opposed to the one he tells about conspiracy government and all that stuff, he's got a bunch of books that are very spiritually oriented. So I started reading a few of those and was like, well, can these arguments be made in a scientific way? I went to the Large Hadron Collider's website and started reading about particle physics and all that. And I was like, holy shit, this is all just this. I don't know what it was exactly, but it all just clicked. It was like, this is all the same stuff. All of this is the same stuff. Everybody talks about it differently. Every church talks about it differently. Every spiritual organization, every tribe, everything that has a written history talks about the same exact things. As that kind of exploded in my mind, of course, Tori and I start watching Ancient Aliens and a whole bunch of other stuff, and we're just like, holy crap, man, this is mind blowing.
And also really stupid.
Yes.
Ancient Aliens is its own special thing. It's its own special little monster of
It's
this
a blend.
Is simultaneously mind blowing and the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
But
like the most confirmation.
It's meant to do that.
On television.
Our favorite was at least my favorite was the episode where they actually bring in the story of Joseph Smith.
Yes, you can't talk about aliens and God without bringing in Joseph Smith.
They talk about he actually met with Pleiadians. And I was
right,
like,
we're gonna call it that. I mean, but that is an absolutely valid way to interpret that information. Like, so it's really
amazing.
How is it? And that was ultimately we were sitting around talking about a lot of these things, and we're going, we're so funny. We're fucking crazy. we're insane.
We are one flew over
and then it of course, again, because of my dad used to say this all the time when people would talk shit about our church or any other church. He'd be like, are you seriously saying that guy over there believes in a sky wizard differently than you do over here? Like,
you guys all sound
and that's
stupid.
that's all. It's all crazy. Like that to argue one guy's crazy over another is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Now the problem is I started applying that to everything in my life, and so now I'm just losing my mind altogether. So,
What do you mean? How did you apply it to everything?
our financial system, our governing bodies, our choices that we make as a collective. It's really hard sometimes to live in this world until you really take a step back and go, this is all kind of a big cosmic joke when you look at it. It's absurd what
Our
we're
made
doing.
up rules and our made up structures that we
that are
sit
self-destructive
right,
in every way.
self-destructive, and everyone hates it, and yet we still keep doing it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's cute. That's cute. It's really cute.
I've come to
Yeah.
the realization that we're the normal ones.
Right.
One way or
Right.
another.
Sadly, that's unfortunately not accredited by the scientists.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's where I almost wish I would have gone to longer schooling so I could tout all my credentials the way many do now. But
Mm,
I went to college. That's enough for me.
yeah.
I didn't.
It's so funny
No.
though that people are. I'm not discounting education because I think it's on a path of what you're looking for. It's absolutely crucial. However, the way we set it up is so demonstrative because it just simply forces individuals. I was just thinking about this not only in, when you go to school, you're separated by classroom, then eventually you get to the point where you're separated by classroom and actual study, the teachers, from English to math to whatever. So you're always moving and shifting. Well, so are the teachers. And interestingly enough, I started thinking about how all of our states, the United States, are all independent places. So you cross over the border, you ain't there talking about, huh? You cross over the other border, you know what I'm saying? And you got all these different dialects and different beliefs and different laws. And I'm just thinking everybody thinks intentionally, with intention, so differently,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mhm.
And then we try to say, oh, it's all one way. This is the way it works for every single
Right.
belief system. But yet everybody is kept separately. What are we supposed to think? That we're
Mhm.
separate? That my way's right and your way's wrong.
Well,
Well,
probably the separation gives it more strength, gives the control more strength to isolate people in certain ways so they're easier to control.
I think that's true. I do think we do it to ourselves more
Yes,
often than
I
not.
think it's more a self-migration and a self-isolation where people find their people and they stay there.
I mean, just an argument can be made to that now. Is like I find that to be true in my life right now, where it is really hard for me want to leave the house and go interact with people, especially
Oh,
when
I hear that.
my happiest moments are here with my family, and it's like why would
We
why
like
would I
live in
go?
our
I can't afford to do
happy
anything
little
anyway.
silo where we don't really leave the house, we don't go anywhere, we don't see anybody, but we do happy things around the house, and
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
about it.
you work so hard for your comfort to what? Leave your comfort?
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was the thing that really smacked me when I just this last year, because for years I was up at 5:30 a.m. every day. I went to the gym every day. I worked my ass off.
Right.
Probably from age 21 to age 32, mostly 70-hour weeks. And if it wasn't for a job, then it was this project and this project and this project
Right.
and this thing. And I did that for so long that by the time I got to 32 years old, I was like, holy crap, I'm so fucking tired. I can't.
Yeah, where's the rest? Where does it all come together?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna. I don't want to change the subject, but I am. So I have to share with you something because of, I think Tori said it about how, or no, Jake, you said it about your favorite place is being at home, being alone. You don't want to go outside. So I work out of my home, and you're right. I don't want to go back to any type of job that leaves this premises because everybody out there is kind of crazy to me. But today, I've been going through some pretty amazing, unusual circumstances, and everybody in this room is already aware. But I will tell you that today was probably the best day and the most. Just let me read this to you because I had to write this down. And I had to do this by speaking it because I just wanted to get it out. But I want you to understand that I was in between calls doing my job. So I have not read it back. It's called laughing. Just thinking about this makes me crack up because you have to understand that I had this amazing realization where everything fit together, and I realized just how ironically lame my life is as I'm on the phone going
It's
to
laughable.
somebody who doesn't want my phone call. And I don't you want about this? Don't you make a don't you love me? You're going to love me so you can buy my things. Please, let's all get together. No, that wasn't Kermit. That was something else.
No, that
But
wasn't Kermit
that
today.
wasn't Kermit. Yes, it was Kermit. But anyway, so this is going on. And, that's just my daily job. I've learned how to put that into a box, and I can work inside of my box here at home, and I can do that. But today, I had this amazing realization about a lot of things coming together that are not relevant to this conversation. And so I had to say, laughing, and it says, I absolutely have never, ever laughed as hard as I laughed today. I mean, it was the loudest, most incredible, gut wrenching laughter that would not stop. I was out of breath. It was incredible. I was exhilarated. I was continued to hackle and cackle and go fall. It was crazy. And I just kept laughing and laughing. Had a funny thing is that I was completely by myself. Now, it goes on because I'm making this realization, and I just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into the fact that, ironically, my realization changed my life, and it doesn't make a damn bit of difference to anything or anybody except me. And that became even more ironic. As I'm doing this thing I don't want to do, realizing how to shape my life so I never have to do the things that I don't want to do. And I just start cracking up because I realize we're so in that little box.
Well, it's how everything is a rite of passage too, right? You have to check this box to get to the next thing.
Right.
The only time that you ever get to stop working or even think about stop working is after your body is completely broken down and you can't do half the things that you want to do anymore. It's it's the cruel irony.
It's like, what a crock.
Yeah. And well, anyway, that's funny. I don't want to take control of the conversation, but Tori, how did you awaken? I don't think Tori's ever been asleep. That's my opinion.
I don't think so
either. I don't have any defining moment. I'm just a girl who was also raised Mormon LDS. Cutely, we were born in the same hospital.
Wow.
3 months apart.
Hey,
two
disappeared,
months
by the
apart.
way.
Oh yeah, I guess.
It's 2 months.
Oh.
August, September, October. 2 months. We were born 2 months apart in the same hospital in Utah because Mormons be Mormoning. And but we met in Colorado Springs at the Home Depot. But I really, really tried to be perfect Mormon girl. I mean, aside from the things I did with teenage boys, unbeknownst to my parents, I think because I think I left the church because I could never feel it was true. And when you're a Mormon, that's a big deal. Like they truly preach and believe that you can feel the truth of it, and bearing testimony of that fact is very, very important to them, that you gain that knowledge of its truth. And I would have my peers, and because every first Sunday of the month they do a
Fast and
testimony meeting where the entire like worship service is members going up and bearing testimony, like declaring a profound knowing of one kind or another. A lot of the time it would mostly just be like, I'm really grateful for this blessing I had in my life. But it was all kind of meant to lead to this big knowing of its truth. And I would see my peers and people that I knew weren't even paying attention in church and not even reading their scriptures and not even praying every night. And they would go up onto the podium and bear these like weeping testimonies of its truth. And I'm sitting here reading my scriptures daily, journaling about them. I have read the Bible, Book of Mormon, and all of their like attached canon cover to cover, King James Version, no less.
Right.
Cover to cover.
I get it.
Many times. And and praying and asking for that testimony of truth and never ever receiving it. Never feeling like this was correct. And there would be like little things along the way in their doctrine that's peppered in there that I'm like, that doesn't sit right with me. And so I tried really hard. I tried to battle that doubt with more knowledge. And that doesn't work. So I start realizing that when you would dig too far or ask too many questions, at least in my case, they would get very defensive, and you would occasionally run into statements like, we don't worry about that. You're looking beyond the mark. You're looking in the branches of the tree when you should be looking at the trunk. But to me, I had been told in church that perfect means complete to a molecular level, as in no holes, complete and without flaw, right? And they believe they have the perfect knowledge, the perfect church of God. And yet if you look closer and closer and closer, you get holes. And they get defensive about it. But if you have truth, you should not fear questions. If you have truth, you should welcome the questions because you have the answers. You should not run away from being looked at under a microscope because you know that you will be complete. You will be perfect. And they can't do that. They can't stand up to it. They get defensive, and there are holes. And so for me, that was kind of eventually I turn 18, I leave my parents' house. I start making my own choices that didn't feel wrong to me. They just felt wrong to my parents and my upbringing.
And of course, then guilt set in combined with...
Right, and of course, the usual way you're raised to feel bad about certain things and yourself.
Right.
But ultimately, I recognized what I wanted to take from the church, which was my moral upbringing and, do what is right.
And the community service aspect.
The community service aspect of it, and kind of left the rest, including God for a while. In fact, I don't recognize God in any traditional entity sense. But I've just go through my life with certain things I know. So for me, I guess the closest thing I could say to an awakening was when I met Jake. I had gotten...
Jake the Atheist?
Yes. Jake the Atheist.
Hang on. What was it? A month and a half ago? 2 months ago? I met you.
Yeah.
That was your awakening. Come on.
When I met Jake.
Okay, I was just trying to.
Well, I gotta hear this.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
I mean, it's if I go down like my path, like my awakening experiences, I guess, like this acknowledgement of something beyond, because I had left church, I didn't have anything else. I was in an abusive relationship, and like life was hard, and yeah, I was just trucking through. Nobody knew what I was going through. Nobody knew that I was in a really horrible domestic situation. Because I had a good attitude. I believed that things were going to be okay. And I meet Jake. We exchange flirtations in the break room. I'm not supposed to do that because I'm with someone, but it was complicated. So then there's one day he comes and he sits down next to me in the break room, and I saw the tree of life. I saw it. It flashed in my mind. Its blue-green colors on this beautiful tree, and he would sit down next to me, and all my worries would go quiet. It was like, and like we weren't together. We'd only had like some brief conversations, and I had a little crush on him. Like it wasn't a deep connection yet, but he sat down next to me and I saw this tree of life. And then it was after that, I was like, I tried everything I could to just be in his bubble because it was calm. It was this immediate calm anytime I was around him, and my life was not calm. It was a hurricane. Leaving the abuser was difficult. But after I decided to start seeing him, I had a vision of my daughter. I had a vision of Jake, my son, and a curly-haired little blonde girl at a park, and we were having a picnic, and it was very obvious we were a family. And that was it for me. And then what's really funny is that when I was pregnant with Charlie, we took one of those early blood tests, and we thought it was a boy for a few months because the blood test indicated she would be a boy. And so I was like, maybe my vision just was, that was just a thing, to get me on the path. It was like, maybe it was just how much I really wanted that future. It was wishful thinking. I was in a bad situation, and ultimately it didn't matter that I'd have this vision. It worked out really great,
right,
to have followed that. But then we get to the ultrasound.
But what did I say?
He said it was a girl the whole
right.
Girl.
He was insistent, and we could not land on a boy name, but we knew exactly what we wanted to name our daughter. So in the ultrasound, they're looking, and they were like, you see those 3 dots? And we're like, yeah. She's like, that's a labia. And we were like, yes. So it was just like this little light bulb where it was like, I'm getting my little girl. And what's even funnier is that she came out brunette. And for one, that was impressive for me genetically because I have 5 Mormon siblings. 5.
Of course.
Blonde hair, blue-eyed babies, no matter how many brunettes we breed with. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed babies.
Because we're part of the area.
I guess so. It is just horrifying. So, I mean, my baby comes out with dark hair, and I think I've done it. And that was just a detail in my vision that just like, it doesn't matter. I got a girl, right? I was right about that. Her brunette hair rubs right off, grows back blonde.
Yes.
And I have pictures of us at a park together with my curly haired little girl. And that's the best I can describe of my being. Like, I just, sometimes I know things, sometimes I see things. And I have collected crystals throughout my life. And as I learn more about vibrations and stuff, I'm like, oh, so I guess I was just being like vibration-y. Okay.
Vibey.
Yeah, I've been vibey. I don't need to overthink it. I like crystals. They make me feel better. And sometimes I have visions.
Right.
No big deal.
Wow,
That's pretty awesome.
that was a powerful story.
Yeah.
That was really, really powerful. I mean, because it hits home. It's just like you don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Just light bulbs turn on.
Oh, did we lose Eddie?
I think Eddie's gone.
So, yeah, very, very powerful. So interesting, though. I'm curious. So, do you guys talk much about what you used to take in? I mean,
What do you
like
mean?
your religion previously versus
I
like
could talk about it
Christianity?
all day. I was the ultimate scripture student, and I studied all the like extra words too. Like I went deep diving because my father's a librarian who encouraged that. And so like our Sunday discussions were also always deep doctrine dive discussions. I could talk about it all day. I have retained much information. He not so much. I just know all the corners more than you do.
Yeah, I just got to a point where that knowledge was not useful anymore.
To me, it's just knowledge I enjoy having.
I wanted a global picture. My whole premise of studying and investigating any religion has been, I want to know what the overarching picture is. I want to see what it leads to.
Right.
And it's almost been frustrating lately because that has demotivated me to investigate on my own now. I used to read a lot more. I used to spend a lot more time digging and investigating and reading and listening to podcasts and all sorts of stuff. Now I'm just like, oh, I'm good.
Right.
Like I enjoy the philosophy of it more than I enjoy the details of it now. I like it all. I think the fun of it too is like getting to learn what that does when you read books. It's the Goodwill Hunting effect, right? When you read books about it, it can only give you a certain snapshot of cool experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's more fun to experience the thing and then engage with people on their experiences.
Right. And I feel like that's been it's a funny thing that we share. Because we didn't meet through church. We had both left by the time we met. And when you told me, I was like, well, I don't know much about, going out and partying. I was raised Mormon. And you were like,
my response to you was bullshit.
No, you were like, oh, really? So was I. And I was like,
really funny.
No, you weren't. And I thought he was teasing me. Like, I thought he was just being flirty and like, yes-anding me. Like, oh, so did I. And I'm like, no, you didn't. That's not funny. I mean, it's a little funny, but it's not funny. He was like, no, my dad still goes to church, tie and everything. And I was like, well, you have got to be shitting. And then he goes, yeah, I was born in Provo. And I was like, I was born in Provo. So,
that's crazy.
And what's funny is that we also moved around in similar trajectories, but never in the same state. I lived in Washington. He lived in Idaho. I lived in Wisconsin. He lived in Ohio.
What part of Idaho did you live in, Jake?
My whole family is from Rexburg, Idaho. They built
that.
When I talk about my generations going way back, I'm related Thomas E. Ricks, who founded Ricks College, which is now BYU Idaho, and
Wow.
Rexford. And
Brigham
then there's
Young, huh? You
and
are
then
like
there
a
there are
you're
Okies
like
in
an
my
herbalist.
Okay, our ancestors crossed the plains together.
Oh yeah, that's
but never. The craziest part is that they never interbred. Like that's
I knew
actually
you guys
crazy.
looked alike. What do you mean?
Right.
We're actually cousins.
So my dad is a genealogist, so I had him check because I was like,
good.
we go too far back in the church for us to have never intermingled, right? Because it wasn't a large
There
group.
weren't a lot of Mormons.
There weren't a lot of Mormons. So the fact that we
Not
did
after
it
the white man took it. Oh, I should have.
is crazy. It's crazy. So our bloodline was clean, just but adjacent. They knew each other probably.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what now? Oh, you know what, Eddie? What do you think about what they're saying? Because I know you just kind of getting to know them. What do you think about this?
No, I think it's pretty impressive. The way that, and especially how he said that we're the same person, but just in another suit. I thought that was pretty dope.
Okay, but when we say that, we mean it statistically.
It's weird.
So wait, example one is he was selling for Yellow Pages, and he was selling to a woman who runs a matchmaking business, and she has her own algorithms that she had developed. So she was like, I like my clients to take my tests. So she has him take the personality test, has me take it, because she just wanted to see, since we were already together, how well her algorithm matched up, right? Mm-hmm. So she was like, you guys match up perfectly. You guys have the most perfect score that I can't believe you guys found each other organically. And then when we were working at the same company together, they had this big old like rah-rah event, and they had us do these personality tests where after you're done answering the questions, you get like this color chart that makes a shape in these different quadrants. And so it shows you your primary quadrants and your shape. Jake and I's shape could overlay, and it was the same.
It was like,
we're the same shape.
Yeah.
What shape was it?
A kite.
Yeah.
It was kite shaped.
I'm a little higher.
Kind of like a heart.
Yeah,
there's like a parameter.
Our edges were stretched. I stretched more toward empath, and you stretched more toward like logic.
Yes.
Yeah. So, which is exactly us. That is where we diverge.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my wife and I, we talk about how I am the edge of a brownie and she is the middle.
Oh, that's cute. That's
that.
really cute.
You know, you bring up an interesting point there. You know, you're talking about how you took a test and they said, can't believe you guys found each other organically. Mm-hmm. It just immediately, because as you know, we're talking a lot. In fact, we're going to be going into the 12 laws of the universe on Sunday. And at 1 p.m. Is that right, you guys?
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. So when we go into this, I mean, think about what you just said. You came here, and this is a personal opinion, but it seems to work out this way in this model, that we all are like in a big giant soup at one point, and we know everything. And then we get ladled out, we get filleted out onto this planet in 3D, slowed down, so we can try to figure out how to, you know, as in, you know, get yourself back into a human again. And here you are at some point, who knows, you might have been a mother or a father of each other or a sister. And I'm not talking about that, you know, here right now, but over this process as we move forward. And here you are magnetically coming back to each other again and again and again. That's
And
awesome.
you know, that's funny. You know what's funny? That you're saying that, and how they could have been connected in these other times. and how they were checking on if they were the same part of the family tree, correct? Because that's where we would go. And she
Mhm.
said when they first met, she saw a tree. I don't know. I that just means something to me. I don't know. There's
It
something
means something to
there.
me. He still does that to me. When I sit next to him, it's like
It has a
crazy's
It
gone.
has a tendency to really bother some people, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, your presence doesn't have the same effect on it.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who have said the same thing, and then there are people who I can just tell start itching out of their skin with like just 5 minutes around me, and they're just like, I gotta get up and do something. So I've wondered, I wonder what that means often.
What do you think it means?
I think you just have a superpower for stabilizing your neurospicy monsters.
I think generally speaking, I'm hard to move. And I mean that.
He's a rock man.
I mean that in so many different ways. One is like earlier, Eric, when you said, "Are you guys getting on tonight?" I'm like, "Fuck, I'm falling asleep, man." I don't know.
I was falling asleep too. I was like, "Oh man, I'm falling asleep."
Yeah, and I was like, am I gonna do this?" And eventually, I kicked myself in the butt enough. I was like, "Yes, I need to get on and not be a jerk."
I'm so glad you guys did, though.
I just have. I
He's
think that
the grumpy dwarf.
That's the grumpy side of it. The flip side of it is that when I walk into a space, I spend probably the first 5 to 10 minutes just observing the space, and I am trying to get a sense of where I fit, I suppose, in the equation. And because I do that quietly, it has a tendency to rub people the wrong way. Like often when I was being introduced to a group as a new employee somewhere, I'd get a lot of darted eyes after I just do a quick introduction, and I just sit there and I don't say much because I'm just trying to figure stuff out. And I'm a commit.
That's a lesson right there that I need to learn.
Yeah,
a lot more of.
He's a grumpy old man.
Yeah.
How fast does he drive when he's not on the back roads?
I don't drive as fast as her.
That's me.
See? Yeah.
And I'm the road rager.
I don't go. I try. Well, in Michigan, nobody cares. I'll be honest. Like if you're going 11 over, no cops pulling you over.
No.
So here I'll generally go like 10 miles per hour over the speed limit, but everywhere, everybody here is going 15 to 20. So
I am gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss it. I'm going back to Colorado where everyone's driving really slow. But it's fine.
I think that are you always like that, calm like that, and just observing, and things just go over you, and you just watch it, and it doesn't affect you,
except for people who know me on a deeply personal level.
Okay. You see, that intimidates people.
Yeah,
people are too much into the, oh, I gotta do this, we gotta get, and when they see somebody calm.
Well, and when people see the angry side, I think that's
but
that's what's scary for
he
them.
Gets loud fast.
That's where I have a tendency to lose friends. The ones that have seen that side of me often don't like it, especially when it's pointed in their direction, and it's understandable. I can get loud and scary, but what I've found is that I'm generally good at owning my side of the reason why I'm angry at something. Like, I did these things. These are my fault. However, this is your shit, and I don't accept responsibility for this. And if you don't, if you're not willing to own it, that's fine. I have a new boundary with you. I will not go to this place with you until you are willing to acknowledge these things that you have done. And my friends, my really close friends, have seen the really angry side of me and have been able to, because I think they think I'm a reasonable person, pull me aside and be like, Jake, we're not happy with this, this, and this. And I'm like, check. I understand. I will do better. I will try to fix that. But it's never. But to your question, I give really long answers to questions that are short.
No, you're good. I'm listening, man.
I just generally think calm approach to things is the best way to do it. Because if you can get everything to start from a place of neutrality, then you can work towards positivity with the pile of shit that you're given often.
Right. And you're able to stay in the present.
Yeah, I think the only time that kind of fell away was working for the company I was working for, because we were just working at this pace for 70 hours a week, and it just got to the point where I was literally losing my mind, and I was slowly, subconsciously trying to kill myself in the process. I was eating terribly. It was not taking care of my body. Got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I'm pretty sure I probably should have died. My friend had a bachelor party, and this is what triggered my diabetes. He had a bachelor party for his upcoming wedding, and I had just gotten on these antibiotics and steroid regimen. And I was 315 pounds. I was way overweight, and he put me on this regimen. We go out drinking. I start blacking out in his truck that night. I'm like, dude, I gotta pull over. I gotta get something to eat. So something's not right. I get something to eat, I feel better, but then I spend the rest of the night drinking with him, and that blood sugar is shooting up. I get to the doctor on Monday and I said, something is seriously wrong. Can you check my blood sugar? And it was at 356. And he said, if it's like this today, I can't imagine how it was 2 days ago. If what you're
way over they wouldn't have been able to measure it.
That's what he said. He's like, you were blacking out in your
buddy's the antibiotics too.
I've gone through it. You were probably dying. Like, your blood sugar was too fucking high. And I was like, well, shit. This is bad. And that was right before.
Conversation never stresses me out.
That was right before we moved. It was right before we moved to Michigan too, and my doctor was like, "You're not moving to Michigan this week." And I said, "To hell I am, man! I got a job. I start work on Monday next week. I don't have time for this, and I got to drive 22 hours with 2 kids in my car. Like, I can't not leave today. You gotta give me some pills or something, and I gotta fucking go." And from that point on, it was just like a nosedive. And I think that was the only time, and Tori experienced it all. I was never abusive, but goddamn, not to anyone outside of myself, but I was damn hard and abusive on myself, and it was just rough. Not good.
Yo, that story that you made that video about, it made a huge impression on me, on the digging in the dark. I thought that was pretty awesome. Like, I got a lot out of that. Did you watch that video, Eric?
Yeah, I shared it and I reposted it. That's why you watched it.
No, I actually got on his
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay. Yeah, I reposted that one too.
It's really good.
I think we have to. It's no different than any adage from a Disney movie. When we're growing up, like, you have to face your fear. You don't have to accept the darkness as a part of you, but you do need to face it, and you do need to acknowledge, like, the thing. I spent years watching movies and TV shows about serial killers. And because I'm just like everybody else, I was fascinated with how could a person do this to another person, and the same thing kept coming up over and over again in every single one of these documentaries. It was, they would interview like a friend or someone who lived next door or something like that. And they would be like, I never could have imagined that.
I would have never thought that.
I would have never imagined.
Mm-hmm.
And it finally, that was the only through line through all of these shows. Nothing else lines up. There's always different variations of why this guy's motivated, why this girl's motivated. But that through line was through every single one of them. And it literally clicked. I went, everyone is capable of this. Anyone is capable of this. It is literally just a choice. When faced with the impulse and the thought and the energy of that decision, if you buy into that energy, you're going to do it. And that is literally it. And when I came to that realization, I was like, holy shit, I got to start looking at people and myself and my life a lot differently, because we're always that close, just a hair trigger away. There's enough of the wrong situation to do something stupid. So
and it's crazy because we're trained to see humanity as everyone's good. That's like the starting point. And we learn
or
it.
if you're Catholic, everyone's shit.
Yeah, look at the flames. They're already on his ankles.
Yeah. You're a sinner. You took on the sin of being a human being. So you're going to hell.
That's what it is. Original sin, right?
Yes.
That they call it or whatever.
Uh-huh. And I think I wouldn't even go. The idea is you want to start with everybody starts with an A, right? Everybody starts with an A in the class. And sometimes you get down to an F, you got to work your way back to getting an A again. But I think we also make a mistake of viewing our own lives and existence as that some sort of graded hierarchy or something, because there are a lot of circumstances that in this life, I'm not going to experience. I don't understand. I have my own prejudices I've experienced. I'm not going to understand the prejudices of other people. I can try and conceptualize and empathize as best I can, but that's the beauty of these experiences, that everybody gets to have a different one. So what's important is that we do dig in the dark and look at the shit we're doing to each other and go, and just on a simple, no judgment level, hey, do we prefer to be operating that way? It doesn't have to mean anything about anyone's character. Do we like the fact that we are doing this terrible thing over and over again? No. Then let's just stop doing it.
Let's figure out who we really are.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call. No, that's just
because when he was mentioning on how everybody has these different experiences, and that's what the whole purpose is, that we are all different. We are all, but like Tori said before, or like they both said before, that everything just turns into the same from wherever it's coming from. It's pretty intense. Yeah.
That's above solo up.
And it is 11:27, and that is 1 hour of time, and this hour flew by. I appreciate.
And I think it was amazing. It was amazing.
I hope we didn't hog up much time. I talk a lot. I'm sorry.
Oh, we were singing yesterday.
I don't know what show you were on, but it was were we singing?
You were talking like Kermit, and then I was singing songs about rainbows.
That's her favorite.
That's my favorite song right now.
We're singing that song. We can go and sing it for you. Ready?
Is that how we end the show?
Yeah, but you froze again. Can you try to
we're
do
frozen.
your thing? No, not you guys. You guys are fine. It's that other guy. It's the guy that wants to sing about rainbows.
I'm frozen. You're frozen, freezing me on purpose so I don't sing.
No. We can hear you. We just can't see you.
Oh, really? I could see myself moving and everything. I don't.
Oh, really? Yeah, something must be on my end here. Let me see if I can just refresh it.
So we're not gonna have time to sing.
Oh, there you go. We're back. You got it, baby. Okay, come on, everybody. We're gonna.
Come on, Pig. We're gonna make this all work out for us. Come on.
Yo,
Let's
man,
do
I'm
this
so
thing.
looking forward to Sunday and getting together again. I mean, I really
What
think
happened
that
to
it's
the
something
song?
great.
You can't segue. I set you
So,
up, bro.
thanks everybody for coming to Who Are We?
Oh no.
After Dark.
Nice.
Good night,
All right, good night, you
everybody.
guys. See you later.
Yeah.